The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Yo, Kevin Lankinen is way cooler than Taylor Swift. That's crazy to say because Lankinen just got here, but we smoking that West Coast bass, okay? Locked on Canucks. The Canucks win somehow, some way. But hey, the Canucks win. Let's talk about it.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Kyle Bowen, and somehow, some way, the Canucks found a way to win this game by 3 goals. After being outshot, 26-9 through the first 2 periods.
Are you lying, bro?
This had to be the weirdest win of the season. And it made you feel like, again, so many bad vibes in Vancouver for a long time. Somehow, some way you think that, things have got to go the Canucks way eventually. And they certainly went their way.
Somehow, some way. It's because, Kevin Lankinen he's so good at hockey, man. Kevin Lankinen is so good at hockey that there's a good chance he's going to play an important game for Finland very soon.
Woo!
And then before you know it, we're going to be like, oh, damn, we have a 1A and a real 1B situation. I don't think that's much of a tool in the playoffs. I think you want to ride one guy, especially, Demko being the longest tenure Canuck. If he's still Vezina good, you gotta ride Demko. That being said, this whole balancing act that they could pull off and, still hold a high point in the standings in the West, it's an X factor for the Canucks. Because, again, I think the Canucks have a good chance to have the best goaltending in each of the games they got to play for the rest of the season in like 99% of these games. If Demko is actually back to form, and I'm just convinced that Lankinen 90% of the time is going to be really good.
Yeah, I think right now you look at the Canucks, they're 25 games into the season, so about 50-ish games to go. Would you be okay if maybe Demko played 25 to 30 games? Like, would that be a successful season for you?
100%. Do the whole split thing from this point on, the whole 50-50 thing. In the last 5 games of the season, let's say both these guys are playing at the same rate. You give Demko 3 of the last 5 starts or 3 of the last 4 starts to really warm him up before the playoffs. Because, again, you gotta do the math for me. You gotta go into your hockey nerd brain for me. Maybe somebody in the comments, hey, one love to the people, okay, for sticking with us this late into the night. We're living the dream. Anyways, you tell me a situation where in the playoffs you could just roll 2 goalies back to back, right? Like that doesn't happen. So in the meantime, let's just lean on the fact that this Canucks team may still have a long runway ahead of them for them to really find their game. But in the meantime, they still got to collect points, and they may have one of the strongest X factors in hockey, and that's having really, really, really goaltending, like really good goaltenders. So goaltending, that's what I'm trying to say. You catch my drift? And if not, they're not playing the Winnipeg Jets every night. Bro, this team can win a lot of games. And we've already seen that through 25 games.
You remember in the summer when you were talking specifically about Archer Shilovs and Thatcher Demko being the next Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman and potentially having that energy? Well, it hasn't happened for Archer Shilovs, but do you think there's a chance that Vancouver can recreate that same magic with Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankinen? Because that's the one team that has also tried to split starts in the playoffs between 2 starting goalies. I mean, I don't think it's going to get there for Vancouver, but I mean,
it can. What do you mean? What's your eye test telling you about Lankinen? Like, there's been a lot of hockey here where he's been so good. So let's talk about tonight. What did he say the shots were through one period? 17-2?
Yeah, 17-2.
Through 2 periods, was it like what was it?
I think it was 26-9 after 2 periods.
And I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of breakdowns for the Vancouver Canucks. That wasn't an easy 27 shots that Lankinen faced. But there he was again, winning the Canucks a hockey game.
Well, I mean, the Canucks, again, they got outworked. They got outplayed. I mean, I see Jason McCoy in the comments. I don't know if he's talking about the Canucks, but he says rebuild time.
Whoa! What? Okay, well, hold up. So let's talk about it, Trevor. Again, I really like the 3rd period. I really like how gritty this team is. They don't give up another multi-goal comeback. We're going to talk about that for 10 minutes at some point during this conversation because, we want to be happy. We want to be hippy-dippy. In fact, in the itinerary of the show, we were supposed to talk about this first, but here we are. Jason, I know Jason McCoy is overreacting. He's not really talking about a rebuild, but yo, this is not good enough. The Canucks have not played hockey good enough more often than not this season. And that's, again, not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, at least at home. On the road, they've looked like a pretty good team overall. But even if you want to nitpick on the road, it was a lot of performances where they did get outplayed. They got outplayed in Boston. They got outplayed in Buffalo. They still got the wins in those cities. Pretty even game in Detroit. They got a win there too. So it wasn't like they dominated on the road trip either. But at home, especially, it just seemed like a completely different team. Like, think about how the Canucks ended their road trip against the Minnesota Wild. They dominate in the third period against a team that was number 1 overall in the NHL. And then tonight against the BJs, they get outshot 17-2, right? Like, they're just getting outworked every puck. Ken Juulsen looks sick tonight. Ken Juulsen had an amazing game for the Bluejackets. A BC bud right there. Adam Fantilli had a couple of great chances too. I mean, again, it goes back to Lankinen just figuring it out and shutting the door and being a rock for this team. But
being the rock, man, unbelievable. I can't believe it. Again, he's going to play some games for Finland, maybe if they need it. And Soros is struggling. I know Soros has been quote unquote really good, right? The underlying data is suggesting that UC Soros is actually a Vezina candidate, even though Nashville is in last place. Okay, I know that's what I'm hearing, but dude, winning matters. And right now, Lankinen's winning a lot of games. Like, there's not a lot of goalies in the NHL that are winning as much as Kevin Lankinen. And a lot of the wins that he's gotten this season, he's done like at least 51% of the work.
Yeah, there has been a lot of games where he's had to play savior. And I mean, especially in this road trip, I feel like he's actually stepping up his game even more. I mean, the Boston and Buffalo games I mentioned, like, those are games where Kevin Lankinen won the hockey game for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, especially in Boston, where they outshot almost 2-1, 32 save shutout or whatever. And then against the Sabres too, I mean, like, I feel like he held the team in there. Buffalo was the better team through 60. He makes the Tage Thompson save in overtime.
Okay, hold up. Okay.
I mean, Kevin Lankinen.
I forgot we played Columbus. I forgot we were playing Columbus today. I felt like we were playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. It felt like we were playing the Minnesota Wild again. So at points, no, honestly, at points in this game, there was a lot of that. There really was. Okay, it felt like we were playing one of the best lines in hockey, shift in and shift out, because Columbus was the better team. That being said, the Canucks win 5-2. They scored the last 5 goals of the game. They were really, really, really good in the third period. Like, they played a boss game. They were led by Quinn Hughes. On the ice, we could see it. We talked about that at the sports bar. Like, oh, damn, Quinn Hughes really shifted this game. And the first thing that Rick Tocchet said also after the game was Quinn Hughes had it. He had the leadership. He had the guys going into the end of the game. And that taught me a lot. And that brings me to this, okay? Let's go down on the comment, okay? This comes from my aunt, okay? She's saying, can we just enjoy the points? AKA, can we just enjoy the good things? Like, should Canucks fans like you and I just go to sleep tonight happy that we cheer for a badass team, a team that does not give up? They don't ever give up. And they should give up right now. Still no Demko. I don't care if he's sitting on the bench. The Demko's not playing. No Hronek, no Miller. I know we're playing the Columbus Bluejackets. I know. But man, oh man, there they are, not being the better hockey team for 39 minutes in that game, but they were able to turn the switch and, again, play with that grit. And, again, let's jump ahead of the schedule. I feel as if that being a part of your repertoire or your arsenal in winning games is obviously really important, but even more so in the playoffs.
And look how calm, cool, and collected you are right now, man. You're sitting here with the sunnies on, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, like, after 2 periods, you were effing miserable, man.
Oh, talk
you
about it. Tell the people.
You were sulking outside.
Why am I bolded? Why am I bolded, bro? Exactly. I got a problem.
I mean, come on. And I kept saying, the Canucks, they have a gift here. All I got to do is win 20 minutes. And that's what they were ultimately able to do in this game. They won the last 20 minutes of the game. Jake DeBrusk specifically was absolutely on one in the third period there. I mean, he was physical early on in the game. But he sets up Besser, sets up Pettersson for goals that ultimately don't go in, but he gets one of his own, cleaning up in front of the net. I mean, Jake DeBrusk is on fire right now, and I'm just gonna say, my prediction at the beginning of the year was that Jake DeBrusk will lead the Canucks in goals, and right now it's looking like I'm in an okay spot, Kyle.
Damn, bro. Are you saying Quinn Hughes is lucky that he's not gonna have to play in the Four Nations Cup against Jake DeBrusk in Team Canada? You know what I'm saying? Unreal, man. You know what? Specifically speaking, like, as much credit as I want to give Quinn Hughes, again, for his leadership, for him bringing the troops together at times when they need it, and just for his skill on the ice. Again, I feel as if he becoming one of the best players in the world for that third period, for that 20-minute turn. It just propelled the Canucks to victory. That being said, the hardest thing to do in the NHL is to score goals, and Jake DeBrusk is just always scoring goals. And if you look at his goal today, he deflects the Quinn Hughes shot, but that was a horrible Quinn Hughes shot. He fanned on that. I feel as if there was a lot of skill that he had to use in tight to shift that puck and move it in between Columbus, like Columbus's goaltender. And dude, that's I'm not gonna say elite. Like, I'm not gonna say Jake DeBrusk is elite, but right now he's replacing JT Miller, not Pius Suter. Maybe they're doing both. No. DeBrusk is replacing JT Miller right now. Just like, we needed that though. We need more offense, right? And he's scoring goals right now, scoring plenty of goals, and that's a lot of effort. That's a lot on Jake DeBrusk. Like, the skill he's bringing to his game right now. It's what I like, man.
Yeah, damn. I will say that I do think it is by committee, right? And I do think it's Jake DeBrusk and Pius Suter who are both helping ease the pain of JT Miller being out of the lineup right now. And maybe we'll talk a bit more about Pius Suter, the pride of Switzerland. A dude from Switzerland is saving the Vancouver Canucks right now. But in terms of Jake DeBrusk, he's on one right now. And I think the thing about Jake DeBrusk is he's a streaky player. He's going to frustrate you for that reason. But what he'll never really do is frustrate you defensively. The guy's always in position. He's not really lazy on the back check. There's bouts where he's kind of slow offensively, not getting the play as quick, but he's I think he's got a high floor and he's a safe defensive player, and that bodes well for the Vancouver Canucks. What also bodes well for the Vancouver Canucks is that the team has Pius Suter. We'll talk about that, get you some of your comments after the break, after we shout out our friends over at FanDuel and Gametime. You know the deal, baby. If you're betting on sports, you got to bet on FanDuel, okay? Because they're America's #1 sports book. And right now, if you're a new customer, all you got to do is bet $5 and you can get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. And tonight, if you bet on the Vancouver Canucks, it wasn't looking like a good bet early, but they were plus 1 point. If they won by more than 2 goals, which they did, you would have gotten paid over 2 times your money.
Whoa.
Come on, man. There you go.
Oh, damn, really?
I know.
Why did you tell me?
I got to say, the best sports bet I ever made, and I haven't won a lot of money sports betting, but do you remember a couple seasons ago, the Canucks were down 2-0 to the Bluejackets last season at Rogers Arena as well.
Oh, Brock Besser scored the hat trick.
Exactly, right? In overtime. So in that game, when the Canucks were down 2-0, I bet on them on FanDuel to come back and win the game. And I put down $40, and I think I won like $200.
That's why you paid for the bill today, man. That's
exactly,
why you paid for the bill today,
FanDuel
baby.
paid for our bill at Rogers Sports Bars. That's why you got to use FanDuel, okay? Again, if you're a new customer, bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Go visit FanDuel.com today. All right, if you're buying tickets to the game, or even if you want to buy Taylor Swift tickets, whatever you want to get, you got to use Gametime if you're buying tickets, okay? And I've done the comparison, okay? All right, I can't say the competitors, but I've done the comparison. And again, Gametime's got the lowest prices. You know why? Because they got that lowest price guarantee, baby, okay? And that means if you find tickets for cheaper elsewhere, Gametime will credit you with 110% of the difference. And Gametime always teasing me in the email inbox with concerts and events this week in my area. Been looking at some Spirit Box tickets for those into a good metal Canadian artist.
You're looking at Canucks tickets tonight, and the Canucks tickets were hella affordable tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think for $40, if you use the code LOCKEDONNHL, you could have went to the game with the homie for like $70. Okay, me and Trevor could have done that. Boom, bam, we could have done that. But Trevor wanted some Casamigos, so that's life. Sometimes, well, we're at the arena though, in the sports bar. That's a cool place. But Rogers Arena, it's a cooler place. Yeah, get tickets at Gametime, okay?
Yeah, positive Canucks show, but maybe we were doubting the Canucks early on there. So it looked like a smart decision early on, but again, the Canucks ended up winning 5-2. If you're going to get tickets to the next win here on this homestand, go check out Gametime. Okay, use code LOCKEDONNHL and get $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
The Canucks, man. Another win, man. The Canucks bringing us together. Look at what we're doing right now. Okay? Not hanging out with our loved ones, right?
Nope.
You probably forgot to put water in your dog's bowl. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Yep.
You probably forgot to lock all your doors. You're in bed watching this. And that's because, again, you're addicted to the Canucks. And the Canucks have 14 wins in 25 games. Demko hasn't played one game. Miller's missed a handful of games. Besser, same thing. Hronik, same thing. Joshua, same thing. Pedersen, metaphorically speaking, the same thing. And again, it's the guts of this team that are ultimately getting this team points. We talked about the goaltending a lot. That's obviously huge. But again, just honing in more on the guts of the team. That's a lot of Quinn Hughes being that dog. And that's also him and Rick Tocchet being on the same page, because I feel as if they're really setting the culture for the Canucks. Like, this team is never out of a game.
Yeah.
They may suck for 40 minutes, but they're never out of the game. They got to get a lot of stuff together. They can't play with luck all the time, but once they round out other parts of their game, I just feel as if this is a dangerous, dangerous team. They can win big games because, again, they're never out of games.
Well, honestly, it really makes sense that Quinn Hughes is leading the charge. And it's funny to think back, like when they were about to name the captain. No, not many people wanted JT, even though he seemed like the most vocal leader. Most of us, including us at a point, we're thinking Elias Pettersson like could and should be the guy. But ultimately, Quinn Hughes, you look at him as the captain, and there's a good chance right now, Kyle, that he goes down as the best ever player to put on a Vancouver Canucks uniform.
Oh, yeah.
And in that case, I mean, he's the easy choice for the captain, right?
Bro, you want to talk about that right now? You know? Right now, off that 420, after that Vancouver smoke. Come on, okay. He's up there. He's already there. It's him or Pavel Bure. There's no argument. Who's the most talented Canuck player of all time? And Quinn Hughes is this young, and I got to look at the math. I'm not sure if did Pavel Bure ever win a Rocket Richard?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
There you go. So Quinn has a Norris. He's in line for another Norris. Like, he may be the MVP this year. We might not have to wait long to just determine that. Like, this guy, yeah, we're watching the greatest Canuck of all time do his thing. And the thing that I'm so appreciative of is his seriousness to the game. So when I hear things like Tocchet saying that Quinn had this group wired the right way to come out and make the comeback, that just surprised me, because I didn't know he was that dog. You know, I thought that he did most of his leading on the ice, because, again, he could just win a game. That's part of leadership, too. Like, you just go win that game. That's how good Quinn Hughes is. With the skill, with the amount of times he touches the puck, like, he can just do that by himself. But the fact that he also brings that in the locker room is just telling, man, the sky's the limit for him. The leadership's there. And, again, the individual accolades. Bro, a couple months from now, I feel as if everyone's going to agree with me. Like, yo, Quinn Hughes is the greatest Canuck of all time.
Yeah, and it really wasn't the greatest game from him tonight overall, right? Like, the first two periods was definitely not prime Quinn Hughes hockey. I mean, like a lot of the team, he was sloppy. And Rick Tocchet even said post-game that in that first period, like, really one of the only good players was Carson Soucy, in his opinion. So, interesting that Carson Soucy gets the name check there. And I think it has been a nice little run for Carson Soucy. And if he can be a top four guy for this team, like many people thought he might be, then this team's going to be in a better spot. Then you're looking at just getting one guy to bolster this team. But in terms of Quinn Hughes, again, not great in the first two periods, but in the third period, absolutely comes out like that dog.
Yeah.
Gets the job done for the Vancouver Canucks. He was buzzing with the puck there. And it was a moment where, again, when you're moping around outside, it's like, look, the Canucks got a gift, an absolute gift from Merzlikins doing God knows what, swimming out in his own zone.
Thank you.
For sure, with Buring in the last minute. So, again, the Canucks did not deserve to go into that second intermission tied at 2. But that's the spot they ended up in, and they just won the last 20 minutes of the game, man. And that's what good teams do.
That's what good teams do. And, you know, even in that second period, after the Canucks just got dominated in the first, they're down 2-0. Quinn Hughes, he doesn't make it 2-1. You know, Besser does, but Quinn Hughes does a lot of the work. And I feel as if the extraordinary things that he does are so normalized, where I'm at the bar watching that play, and I'm just brushing it off, not acknowledging that was an offensive zone faceoff. The Canucks win the faceoff, and about 4 seconds later, Quinn Hughes is behind their net.
Yeah.
And then giving a one-timer feed to Besser, and boom, bam, we're back in the game. And he's a defenseman. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, Kiefer Sherwood capitalizes off of a big mistake by the Columbus. Like, that was just immature, straight up. That was doing way too much on Elvis's part, maybe jealous that Taylor Swift was actually, dominating the city. All in all, though, we didn't deserve to be tied 2-2, but I feel as if Quinn Hughes came out in the third and just told the whole team, like, we're not losing this game.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah. Certainly looks like that with his play on the ice. And I would say that probably the best of the best players in that third period, we talked about two of them, Quinn Hughes and Jake DeBrusk would be the top two for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the third would probably be Pius Suter.
Ooh.
I mean, Pius Suter, again, you talk about the absence of JT Miller and how DeBrusk has played a big role in that. I mean, Pius Suter right now, he's got 10 goals on the season. I mean, I'm not sure this guy's career high is, but he's kind of been a 14, 15 goal guy for the last three years or so in the NHL. And all the way off the bat right now, playing 18 plus minutes a night. The one knock is face-offs, but overall, Pius Suter is doing a pretty awesome job as a second line center.
Oh, dude, he's a baller. UFA Suter. I'll say this: Connor McDavid, Quinn Hughes, Sasha Barkov, and I'll say Elias Pettersson. They're lucky that Pius Suter's not playing in the Four Nations Cup. Okay. No, bro, I want to talk about this. I don't think I'm crazy for saying this, and you can say like his minutes are quote unquote sheltered. Like he doesn't have the most pressure on him. Maybe he's playing less than the other guys, but he's damn effective.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's a coach's dream, and when you watch the game with like a complete bird's eye view, sometimes you kind of realize quickly, like he's valuable. You have to be able to win with guys like this because he's never making a bad play. And right now, again, he's UFA mode. Okay, this guy's playing for something. Hey, it's all in us. Okay, we're getting the best out of him. And Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's gonna stop this season. Like, there's a lot of players in hockey who have mad career seasons. Maybe they can't replicate going from a 40-point player or 30-point player in Suter's case to like a 70-point guy or 60-point guy year in and year out. But we may be getting that 60-point year or that 50-point year from Pius Suter right now. And again, when we're talking about the floor of the team getting a lot better, you're seeing guys like Suter and Garland play way above their value. Even DeBrusk right now, surprising me, playing above his value. You hope that all those things kind of like turn around in the playoffs and like all come at once. And you're like, oh, damn, this team is Florida Panthers deep sometimes. Bro.
Yeah. Woo! That's the energy right there. Let's go, man. There we go.
Friday night, baby. Friday night. Beat the Columbus Bluejackets. 5 straight goals. We're the next Florida Panthers, man. Hey, what would win in a fight? An orca whale or a panther? Exactly. Come on, man.
They would definitely beat a BJ. That's for
anyway,
sure. Actually,
is Pius Suter that good? Am I tripping or what? What do you think's happening with Pius Suter? Steroids?
Well,
what?
I think one of the key things you mentioned is coach's dream. Like, he is a coach's dream because he can play anywhere in the lineup. He can play power play. He can play penalty kill. He can play wing. He can be center. He's not going to be this like elite first line guy all the time, but he's perfectly capable. Much like Jake DeBrusk we talked about, Pius Suter also has a high floor with this game. Like, he might frustrate you with the lack of finish offensively, although that's finally coming this season. Maybe this is just the season, like you said, for Pius Suter.
It is.
But he has a coach's dream right now. And the ironic thing, Kyle, you mentioned coach's dream. This pace that Pius Suter's on, like, could he be a 50-point guy? Coming to the season, we would have thought that guy would have been not Pius Suter, but Nils Hoglander. And on the flip side, Nils Hoglander, no goals in 20 games. And we got to talk about it, man. This guy got the death stare from Rick Tocchet on the bench.
Yeah.
For those who didn't see the clip, Hoglander tries to go out on the ice. Tocchet calls him back. Hoglander comes back a little to the bench, and then Tocchet kind of gives him the death stare from behind. It was an interesting look, and this is definitely probably the low point of Hoglander's NHL career.
Yeah, and he's got to do more, man. There's just moments in Hoglander's game right now where he's not intense enough. He's not bringing the edge that we saw last year. Again, F the offense. Well, we can let that come later. But the other things are absolutely not happening. There was a specific play like in the third period, right? After you took an offensive zone face-off penalty. One that maybe he didn't deserve, but there he is taking another penalty. That's a lot of minors. All in all, though, whether it be his fault or not, the Canucks kill the penalty. He gets out of the box. He has a chance to make a play on the Columbus blue liner at the point, fresh out of the box. And what does he do? He love taps him. There's no intensity. There's no aggressiveness. There's no power. There's no There's no extra effort. And next thing you know, Columbus has the puck in the zone for the next 20 to 25 seconds. I think that was with like 7 or 8 minutes left in the game. And it's those things that disappoint me. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Because a guy like Max Sasson would have tried to do something more, you know? Like, and that's just not good enough right now. And for Hoglander, again, it's so important for him right now to not take the line juggling and the lack of minutes so personal. Just adapt and do anything, shift in and shift out that will help this team win. So again, you can't take it personal. Your relationship with Tocchet, provide effort. Don't be doing ish like that, and you'll get out of this rut. But until then, bro, he might be a healthy scratch next game.
Yeah, that would be saying something considering that they have Sasson and Ratu in the lineup. But
well, when Miller comes back, I'm thinking if he's playing like this, and again, he's not making a simple play like that, not even laying the boom, like no effort, like love taps out of the box after you took a penalty, after your team just killed a huge penalty.
Yeah,
what are you doing? You need to do more. It's, we just saw guys like Kiefer Sherwood come onto the team. I know Sherwood has quote unquote slowed down with the aggressiveness. I don't know what his hit numbers are looking like. Maybe he's still padded the stats, right? Anything counts as a hit, but you're seeing less intensity from him because no one can do that for 82 straight games. That's I wouldn't even be surprised if Tocchet's like, yo, slow the F down. We need you in April. No, straight up. He's going out there like a missile. Like, that's impossible. If he were able to do that for 82 straight games, he'd be one of the best hockey players in the world. Oh, straight up, the things that he was doing, it's crazy. Scoring goals and 700 hits. Yeah. Dude, all in all, you see a guy like that come into your team and do that, and now he's kind of, I'm not going to be as aggressive right now. Dude, Hoglander, step it up. You can do the same thing, but he's just choosing not to. He looks defeated right now. Yeah,
he really does. And like I said, I think it's probably the worst stretch of his career. But I do believe in Hoglander to get out of this rut. Look at the talent he's shown last year. Since he came into the NHL, like, he does have the ability to get out of these funks. Like, I fully believe it. Good players go through it, and he's still got the sauce, man. He's still got the skill in the game. He just has to do a better job of finding that intensity and finding his teammates on the ice. Like, that's one of the big knocks on Hoglander for me. He's very creative with the puck individually, but he doesn't seem to do a good job of finding his teammates out there. And that could be a limiter.
No confidence. How do you fix the confidence? Let's find solutions, man. Sometimes you and I go through our ish. We're not feeling our best. Like, what happens? Yo, Patterson and him need to go to Yaletown right now.
Yeah.
Yo, they need to go to Yaletown right now and just live it up. Get lost in the sauce. This is just hockey, baby. Don't worry about it. You know what they got to do? Maybe go to Taylor Swift tomorrow, man.
Well, Sunday after the 1 p.m. game.
What are they doing tomorrow? There's no game tomorrow, man. Taylor Swift is here for 3 days. That's unreal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I know this. Trevor Beggs hates Taylor Swift. I don't know what happened. What happened? You slid into her DMs when you're in grade 12 and she didn't reply?
No. My crush at the same age was Selena Gomez, not Taylor Swift. So
there you go. You chose Team Selena. You loyal. I like that, man. There you go. Loyal to the first love, baby. Okay, that's loyalty. You see that? That's loyalty, man. That's why Beggsy's first, man. Speaking of which, you are also first. So let's just read some comments before we get out of here, okay? Can you read some of the comments? Because I suck at reading. Anyways, thanks for the comments. Let's get to it.
All right. So I was looking at Boomscoop. We got Infamous right here who says Hoglander is small, which can be fine if you're fast and crafty with the puck, but either doesn't have the speed or he isn't using it, and he hasn't been using his skill effectively. And that's an important part. I think, again, he's not using his skill to find his teammates, right? He's got some individual skill, but you can only do so much in the offensive zone by yourself. And I think Hoglander just needs to be, he likes to play his head down a lot and just make plays with the puck. He needs to play with his head up a bit more and find his teammates on the ice.
Well, dude, again, he's sad. Your head's down when you're sad, Trevor. It is what it is. Okay?
Maybe Hoglander needs to see Taylor Swift. Maybe he's going to get the Taylor Swift bump. He's the biggest Taylor Swift fan on the team.
I know what he needs to do right now, okay? Boomscoom is saying number 5 orange would help Hoglander immensely. And you know what, Boomscoom, I know this is a family program, right? And we're not going to go where you want us to go, okay? I've been dating a hot girl for 3 years. Trevor Beggs got a hot wife. I mean, he's got a wife, okay? Okay, you go. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's perfect.
Where am I going with this? Oh, okay, yeah. Number 5 orange, Nils Hoglander. I'm doing the math. He needs vitamin C. Vancouver's a great place. It's a great place. It's rainy. It's cold right now. He's not playing his best hockey. It's like multiplying. It's exponential. The state he's in right now. He needs vitamin C. So what's the best orange juice out there that can help Hoglander out?
Lots of pulp. Just get the most pulp possible. The pulp is the good stuff.
Okay, shout out to the pulp.
You don't want it nice and watery. You want it nice and like voluptuous.
Voluptuous. Damn, I'm gonna use that when I text my girlfriend good night tonight, man. Okay, next comment. Okay, Boom Scoom with another good one. Okay, what's the issues with the team shot count? Okay, I don't want to end on a negative, so someone give us the most positive comments after this. Okay, but Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bound here, 11:43 at night. Thanks for joining us. I'm not an idiot though. That's not good enough. And you know what's also not good enough? That this has kind of been the case for 11. If they finish off the month like this, it's 11 months of Canucks hockey or 10 months of Canucks hockey where they don't take a lot of shots, including them not taking a lot of shots. In fact, breaking records in the playoffs. Okay, so does that need to change? And I'll add a bit of devil's advocate in that question by saying, Carolina takes a lot of shots, but they never gotten that far into the playoffs. Like they haven't gone to the Stanley Cup Finals. Like what's this whole phenomenon with shots? Do you want the Canucks taking more shots, or is there some recipe that they can actually follow and still win games?
I think there's a balance between the two. Like I think a team like the Canucks has shown consistently now, this season and last season, that they are a team that has enough skill to have an above average shooting percentage. I mean, I think they finished third last year at even strength. I believe they're fifth or sixth this year, last I checked. Like they're one of the best teams in terms of efficiency at scoring, but they have been one of the worst teams at actually shooting the puck and getting shots on net. So, I mean, look, I won't go into a rabbit hole, but I've thought about this before. The NHL really is moving to more of a skill league, right? We all know that. Guys just getting better at picking their spots. Like we might be in a world where there's less shots and still more goals, right? And you're seeing that with save percentage dropping right now. But at the end of the day, the Canucks, when they're against good teams, and they did not play good teams today, and they got completely outshot. But they need to be in it, okay? Like, again, today they got outshot and they deserved it, and they played like crap through 40 minutes, right? Yeah. You can't do, and this is against a mediocre team. You cannot do that against a good team and expect to win and expect to be a Stanley Cup contender. And I think they realize that, like, they came out and showed something in the third period, like, yeah, that wasn't good enough, and we gotta get the job done. Yeah. But again, against good teams, like, we need to see more of that. We just haven't seen that this season, partly because of an easy schedule, and partly because they just haven't been good against the few good teams they played.
And maybe partially because this is who they are. Like they need to get better, right? And they also need to just like here. It's interesting, right? Because post February or post like late January of them just slowing down when it came to like taking shots and stuff, I feel as if you could credit Pettersson and the lack of him being Pettersson for that as well. Like the lack of play driving, the lack of his line absolutely doing anything, and just his shots on goal per game, right? If they're going down and all those things are going down, this team is taking less shots. And now he's kind of ramping up again, but this team doesn't have Zadorov or Ian Cole. They have other defensemen, and it's not as if Zadorov and Ian Cole are the most offensive of players, but they pass the puck better. As simple as that, than the defenseman that we have right now towards the bottom of our everyday lineup. It's just the truth. Like now Hronek's hurt too. So you have now Soucy's warming up. I feel like that part of his game is going to come back ASAP because he's playing more confident, right? He's stacking up the wins, and that's kind of how you climb yourself out of the rut. But even after him with Hronek out, it's like Myers, Desharnais, and Juulsen are playing every game, right? And again, Zadorov and Ian Cole were better at passing the puck than those guys, like by far and away. So until they can fix that, I feel as if they're going to be this type of team. They're going to take like 25 shots or less per game, 23 shots, 17, 18. Like it's just the way it is because you can't really break out and supply offense efficiently. And you also can't play Quinn Hughes 32 minutes a game right now. Real talk.
Or can you, man? Or can you? Maybe Quinn Hughes and the Canucks are changing the game in terms of how much a defenseman can play. Or maybe it's all planned, man. I mean, Kurt Richardson has in the comments here, the Canucks are now 9-5-1 when giving up the first goal. It's all part of a plan. Maybe this Canucks team, maybe he's on something. Maybe this Canucks team needs to play under a bit of heat, a bit of sizzle. They need to be, challenged playing from behind early in the season. Maybe it's all part of the grand scheme, man. That's the glass half full way to end the show here.
There you go, man. That's beautiful, man. 9-5-1 when we allow the first goal. Trevor said that's the way we're going to end the show, but I got to read one more comment because Trevor, come on, man. We got to give a shout out to Surrey. And Andrew, okay, saying that Noah Juulsen has been a stud. Noah Juulsen, born in Surrey, right? He got the Abbotsford connection too, but I think if you use Google or ChatGPT, you find out this guy might be born in Surrey. Okay, Surrey guy. We like to think R.C. Baines is the only guy from Surrey. I don't know why we do that. That's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah.
Okay, no, something's okay. Trevor, just we don't. Okay, Noah Juulsen, great his game today, and talk about the chance that he could be our sixth defenseman.
Right now, there's a
No. Even if like we got other guys, like can he be an everyday sixth defenseman, or is that
can he
dreaming?
be? Yes, and I think shout out to Andrew. Andrew's the number one Noah Juulsen fan in the city, and he said this in our comments before Rick Tocchet said it. But Juulsen's got to play a string of games to get into it because it's hard to be a healthy scratch and take a seat all the time. And Rick Tocchet really said the same thing about a week ago now, and now you're seeing Juulsen playing a run of games, and I think he's looking better. Again, I don't think he's fantastic, but I think he can be an everyday bottom pairing sixth defenseman. He's great on the penalty kill. I mean, you and I were talking about during the game. Often Tyler Myers and other defensemen on this team will think about just ringing it out around the boards, but Juulsen kind of has his head up and always looks just to fire it down the ice. Like he's a smart penalty killer. He's physical. I think he's getting better with the puck. So yeah, no, I like what he's doing right now, and I would play him above Desharnais for sure. And there's times where I think he should be playing above Myers too, to be honest with you.
Oh, that one hurt, hey. This one hurts too, man. Ian Cole.
Noah Juulsen our best right shot defenseman right now.
Okay.
Holy.
Okay, honestly, bro. Honestly, shout out to Surrey. That's all I wanted to do with that. Yeah. And who knows, man? Maybe down the road in a couple months we'll do this again and meet in person and watch the game at Tap House, man.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay, I'm down.
Surrey's finest. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Shout out to Guilford. Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen, and you. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us those prompts and producing the show. Kurt Richardson, man, had an MVP-like episode, okay? Come on, man. That last comment, Juulsen, bro, you got to drop a mixtape, man. Okay, challenge Young Static as the best rapper in this community. All in all, though, hit the like button. Also, one love to the Don'tos Art Lab for taking care of their neighbors and giving that West Coast bias to, again, you. Hit the links in the bio. Beggsy, sign us out.
A shout out from everyone here, from the everydayers to the first-time listeners and everyone who joined us on the live show on YouTube here. It's almost midnight here, man. Come on, I'm a dad, man. I got to be up in like 4 hours from now. What's going on?
And I'm offend you.
That's true. But we appreciate you, whether you're watching live, whether you're listening after the fact. Again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe and like this on YouTube. On the podcast side, go follow us and leave a 5-star review. We got to get out of here. One love. Go Canucks, go. Let's get it done. It's all good, baby. Let's go win the Stanley Cup.
He wears short shorts.
No, stop it. No, stop it, man.
On the
Unbelievable.
bleachers. Then I'm on a day where you can looking for, because what you're here for, it's right here in your eyes.